One of the main cornerstones of my home theater is not just secondhand items, but also budget-friendly items. And that's what we're going to talk about here today, because recently I was able to upgrade my seating arrangement here in the home theater. And in this video here today, I'm going to take you through kind of step by step how I was able to do that and what upgrades I actually made. Let's get into the video and talk about how I upgraded my seating in my home theater. Now, to start with, I want to say thank you for coming back to the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, my name is Matt, and this is Secondhand Home Theater. Now, the topic of the video here today is seating, and I want to talk about briefly the history of kind of the seating layout I've had here in my home theater up until this point, of having these new seats that I have. And really, I don't have a very detailed history for the seating layout. In fact, the seating never really changed in this home theater up until, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago when I got the new seats from a thrift store down in St. Louis that are now the seats in the rear of my space behind me. So for the longest time, I had 2 couches that were sitting here in the home theater. I had a black kind of like leather couch that was up here in the front row. And then I had a secondary couch in the back row that was up on bed risers that was more like a floral print, kind of turquoise green color. But I had a couch cover on top of it. Now the first couch, the black kind of leather couch, I got rid of that a few months ago when I got my first set of theater seating. What I did more recently, in terms of this video here today, is I removed the couch that was previously sitting in the rear of my home theater back there. And that couch was one that had been here in the home theater for the entirety of this home theater's existence. From the very first day I started this home theater like 12 years ago, that couch was here in this home theater. And in fact, that couch had actually been with me and Mallory for several years prior to that when we lived at our old house before we even moved here. So what I ended up doing here in the home theater is I moved the front row of seats, those chairs that I got from the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store, moved them to the rear of the home theater as the back row and put them up on a theater riser, and we'll talk more about that here in just a minute. And in their place here in the front of the home theater for the main first row of seating, I have this theater recliner set that I'm currently sitting in. Now this recliner that I'm sitting in right now, I don't think is actually made for a home theater, and in fact I don't think it's even made for home use at all. I believe that this recliner, this set here, is actually made for like an RV camper kind of thing. And I got this for free from a person who literally was like 5 minutes away from my house out here, where I live, and they were getting rid of it. It was first come, first serve. It was out at the end of their driveway, up by the road. It was in fully functioning, like working condition, but the leather was peeling on it and kind of flaking off. It had been raining all night, so it was a bit wet. So we ended up drying it off, getting it home, and sitting it out kind of in the sun for like a week to like dry out. We toweled everything down, but at the end of all that, it's actually in pretty decent shape. And since the original leather is more of like a cream colored leather, we wanted something that would match the chairs in the back. So that's why we bought this cover off of Amazon that kind of slips over each piece individually. And then you can kind of put everything together. And really the only spot you can see the original leather is where they have the cutout for the cup holders that are right here on the armrest. Otherwise, everything else is in this brownish kind of velvet velour material, and it does match really well with my theater seats that I got from the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store a few months ago. And with the lights on, you can kind of tell there's a difference, but when the lights are off, you can't really tell. They look almost identical. So that's why we got this. But this is the new first row of seating here in the home theater. And like I said, I moved the chairs that were previously up here at the front of the theater to the back of the theater as the second row, and we got rid of that couch that was back there. Now, going along with that, we decided to build a home theater riser to put those rear seats on. And the reason we wanted to do that is because previously the couches we had had in here that were kind of elevated for stadium seating were just on your traditional like bed risers that you can buy from like Walmart or any, kind of big box store or through Amazon or wherever. So one of the main things we wanted to accomplish with building the home theater riser was to make it somewhat portable and easy to navigate getting it down here into the home theater. And so what we did is we made two 4 foot by 4 foot square boxes made out of 2 by 8, so they're 8 inches tall. Made those boxes and kind of set them together, and then put two pieces of 1/2 inch plywood subfloor on top because we found some 4 by 4 pieces of plywood, so they were already cut, to that size. Bought those and just put them on top. And then we covered the entire riser box in very cheap $1.99, just like carpet squares that you could get at Menards. And we found one that were like a grayish color that's fairly similar to the actual carpet squares that were already installed here in this space when we bought the house. They're a little bit different, but with the lights off, you can't really tell. They look almost identical. So we bought the 2 by 8 pieces. I had to cut those down to size, and luckily Menards has just a miter saw, chop saw there that anyone can use if you buy lumber. So we marked everything out, cut everything to size, and loaded it up in my car. The subfloor pieces were already cut to 4 by 4 kind of squares, so we didn't have to do any cutting there. We just bought the squares, and they were able to sit on top of the boxes that we made. We used wood screws to screw everything together, very basic sort of stuff. And what we ended up doing is we built two boxes individually, brought them here into the home theater, sat them on the floor, and then screwed them together with a couple wood screws through each side. So if we were to move, all we'd have to do is remove kind of like the top pieces of the subfloor, which are just screwed in, with simple screws, and then remove those few screws that are holding everything together, and we would have two smaller boxes. Or we could even leave the subfloor on and just kind of tip it up and remove those screws, and then we have two smaller boxes to kind of angle and move in and out of the space, and it'll be much easier than like an 8 foot box. But going along with that, when you build a riser, you don't want it to really be hollow because it'll start to just like echo and reverberate with like sub bass sounds, from your subwoofers, and different frequencies will kind of get in there and rattle it. So we needed sound dampening to put on the inside of the riser box. And instead of going out and buying insulation or like rock wool kind of stuff and some of these other things that you see online for like sound dampening, and those would probably be a better material just in terms of their density and what kind of sound dampening they actually kind of can accomplish. We wanted to go the cheapest DIY route. So what we ended up doing is we went through all our bedding that we had here, because we have a lot of bedding for all the guest rooms and stuff we have here at the house, and found the oldest, most like ratty bedding that we had. And we took all the comforters and bedding and stuff that we were going to, get rid of, and basically stuffed them into the box before we put the subfloor on. And so far, with the kind of testing I've done and content I've watched here in the home theater, just having all that bedding stuffed in there in each part of the box really has helped. And it, really has deadened the audio and done a pretty good job as a DIY kind of cost-effective way of doing it. Again, might be a little bit better to use real insulation, but that's messy, it's expensive. We didn't really want to go that route. But using all these comforters and blankets and everything kind of stuffed in there has worked out so far, and I think it's going to be a good budget option going forward. Now, like I said a minute ago, we put carpet squares on there, so we bought these cheap $1.99 carpet squares. They match pretty well to the space here in the home theater. And we adhered those not only with the adhesive backing that's already on those squares, but we also bought some cheap carpet tape and just ran kind of like some X patterns on the actual subfloor and on the side of the actual riser, and just stuck all the pieces on there. We cut them to size for like the side, the vertical pieces, and then just stuck them on top and tacked everything down. I used a few carpet tacks and stuff in a few places where it was a little bit kind of peeling up already. But other than that, it was very simple to get everything kind of put together. But once that was done, and we had all the stuffing in, and we kind of put everything together, got all the carpet squares and stuff put on there. We decided that we did want to add some lighting on there because we don't want people tripping on the actual box to step up to it. So we wanted to put some lighting, and we didn't want to make stairs because we didn't feel like the box was high enough that you really needed steps, because with the 2x8s and then the subfloor, you're only looking maybe about 9.5, 10 inches. So we felt like people could step up onto that, but we wanted a light. And so we ended up buying just some cheap $10 LED lights from Walmart and putting them around the box. And one of the best ideas that Mallory came up with was how to adhere those lights to the box. Because since the carpet isn't a flat surface, the adhesive backing that's on those lights didn't want to stick. It wouldn't stick to the carpet. So what Mallory ended up coming up with as a solution to that was to buy a roll of Velcro adhesive kind of stuff, and Mallory stuck that to the back of the adhesive part of the LED lights. And so the lights now have a Velcro backing that stick directly to the carpet, and you can pull it and remove it and readjust it without having to worry about it being sticky and residue or ripping anything. The Velcro just comes off and you can press it back on there. And so that was a really cool, really neat problem solving solution, that Mallory came up with, to buy like a $7 roll of this Velcro stuff and just stick it to the back of the actual lights and put them on there. And so once that was done with the LED lights, we kind of finished the last little touches up, brought all the seats in, cleaned up, put everything in here. And now we have 2 rows of kind of dedicated seating here in the home theater. And we made sure that we have enough space here with these chairs here in the front, because these are recliners. So we wanted to make sure we had enough space. So we have about 3-4 feet of space behind these chairs, so that if you're sitting in the back row and you recline back, you're not like right on top of the other person that's back there. It really opens up the space. It really makes it look more like a dedicated home theater than it did before with like the couches in here. And there's nothing against having couches, if that's what you like and what you prefer, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's what I had for like 12 years here in my home theater. But I really do like having dedicated seats in the home theater now in 2 rows with a actual theater box for the stadium seating. And it really just makes things look more like a legitimate home theater with this kind of seating in here. With that, we're at the end of the video. So if you enjoyed the content here today, definitely consider leaving a like, consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate everybody who watches my content and subscribes. I really do appreciate that. Also, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on home theater seating, what kind of home theater seats you have in your home theater, whether you have dedicated seats kind of like this, whether you use a couch, whether you use maybe actual theater seats, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time, but I don't think it's going to be in the cards for a while. But, let me know what you have in your home theater and your thoughts on that sort of stuff. Let me know if you have a riser box, and if you DIY'd it or if you purchased something pre-made, to put, your seats on if you have stadium style seating. And with that, I'm going to end this video here today. So thank you again to everybody who's watched my content. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. And I will see you the next time in the next video right here on Secondhand Home Theater. Hopefully pretty soon, because we're going to talk about my new subwoofers in the next video, hopefully. So I will see you then, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.